So, we started preparing December of 2023. So I'm definitely a planner by heart. So I knew that I didn't want to go into this just, flying by the seat of my pants type of thing. So I studied that Facebook group probably every day. I probably went back, with a year's worth of posts just to try to collect data, because I just wanted to make sure I'm leaving a career in the Air Force where I knew my progression. So I knew what the next steps were, and I was leaving a safe and secure job. So I knew that if I was going to take the risk of being a pharmacy owner, while I, love the freedom, love the, getting to know my patients a lot better than I did at my previous job, it's a big risk for my family, going from making a really good salary to zero. And so I wanted to be as prepared as possible. So, with the help of the free DiversifyRx Facebook group, I really kind of began to build our pharmacy in my head before we even moved back to Kentucky. So it was super nice to be able to have all those independent pharmacy owners just all in one place, where they were all throwing out ideas of, what's your best OTC items? What's the best way to structure a delivery system? Things like that you don't really think about when you're not used to it. And you're like, oh, I didn't think about that, when you try to start, opening this pharmacy. And, a lot of those things, marketing was a huge thing. I realized how important pushing like a big marketing campaign, even before our doors open, was a tremendous payoff. The more transparent, the more out there we were, the better results we had, I noticed. And so I just took a lot of that. I picked Lisa's brain, and, it was really nice to have her kind of in our corner, because, she could have just responded and said, well, look, you can join my club. It's this, it's X amount of dollars per month. You can talk to me then. But she didn't. Even when I wasn't an actual member, I'm just an essentials member right now. But even when I wasn't a member, she was always there if I needed her, just to pick her brain just for a second. And that really made the difference. And that really kind of showed me that DiversifyRx is really about making sure that independent pharmacies not only survive, but we thrive. And so I couldn't be more thankful for that part of kind of meeting Lisa and the DiversifyRx team. Our grand opening was really great. We had probably like 50 or 60 people stop by. So really high energy. We're like, yes, we're doing the right thing. We're, taking Lisa's advice. We're making videos every day and posts, making sure like Facebook is on top-notch level, right? And then reality kind of set in when everybody transferred to us, but hey, I'm not ready for my meds yet, so we'll call you when we're ready. So it was kind of a shock the first week when we're sitting on 300 prescriptions, but nobody needs them right now, because we just kept, we caught them in the middle of a fill, and we're just sitting there like, any day now, come on. So we did 10 prescriptions our first week, and outside I was bright, bubbly, this is great. Going home to my wife saying, oh, we had an awesome day today. Inside I was like, oh my gosh, like what did I do? But we stayed faithful. We stayed persistent. I have a very small team here. I have one technician that's part-time, and we have a high school student volunteer. So with them, I just kept reiterating, look, they're not, patients aren't here right now, but if we continue to give excellent service for everybody that walks through that door, word of mouth is going to catch fire. And before we know it, we're going to be laughing at the days that we were able to sit around and, basically just throw out ideas to each other, the whole day, well, what if we did this? What if we did this type of drawing for a giveaway? Things like that. We just had our busiest week last week. So now we're up to, I think we did almost 90 prescriptions last week. So we're averaging, right around 15 a day. If you're going to take a chance with something, you're going to invest your time and your money in something, you need to just start asking around, like the peers that you trust. So I would recommend just hopping on that Facebook and typing in names of friends or coworkers or people that you've previously worked in pharmacy with, you would probably be surprised how many people are actually following that Facebook group. That's exactly what I did. I went on there and I was like, I'm curious if so and so from pharmacy school, I know she worked local. Is she part of this group? Oh wow, she is. Oh wow, the three independent pharmacists that are closest to me are also members of this. And it's one thing to join and just kind of be a bystander, which I kind of was for a while, just while we were kind of ramping up. But the more I realized that you have to invest something of your own to make it worthwhile. And once I finally took that leap, I don't know if it happened just subconsciously or not, but it was like I took more pride and more effort into making sure that I squeezed as much value out of something as I possibly could have. And I strongly believe, anything free is great. It's a good entry point. But once you kind of run its course, I would highly encourage those that have the means to kind of go ahead and start investing, because it's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your own pharmacy and the pharmacy community.